It is not a lie, dosto, that this year is very difficult year for international students worldwide, not just in the US, because even for Canada, look at Canada. Canada expecting like 30% influx of students from US to Canada. And in fact, for US with F1 visa interviews paused, and now students thinking of other options, this is absolutely a tough year. Ray Dalio says something really important about the US that everyone should listen to. Number one is that being best at particular subject is being better than being average. Being worst at a particular subject is being better than being average as well. So what he's trying to say is that being average is the biggest curse you can have. Now the problem is people in India, unko advice di jati hai, if you're an average, the best idea is to go outside the country and study in US, wherever you want to. Do you know why? Because when you're average, you're not sure what your real skills are. And when an average student moves to different markets, different economy, different world, they're able to figure out their, niche skills that they are actually good at, where they are best at or worst at. If you're worst at particular skill, you know that it is not for me. If you're best at particular skill, you can survive in your own country. But when you're average at a particular skill, you need to really explore that field, and that becomes easier when you transfer your skills from one area to another, one economy to another, one country to another, and you experience what you're really good at. That's the biggest benefit of coming to the US, exploring, having those discussions, case studies. And I know that most people do not experience what US gives them completely. For example, most of you might not even participate in discussions with diverse people and background to come up with best ideas. Most people will just sharpen their skills, figure out what major, like for example, computer science, what cybersecurity, AI, Android development, iOS development, web development, cloud computing. Among all of those, what you're really good at, and probably get a job. That's like probably the biggest goal of most people coming to the US, and that's completely okay. But few people who actually participate in those discussions come up with unique ideas by talking to people all around the world and bringing a change. Look at even like products like YouTube. YouTube is made for the world. If you compare with Bilibili in China, Bilibili is made for people in China. So think about the mindset what US prepares you for to build products for the world versus for a particular country. That's why I think Ray Dalio says something really interesting about US is coming to US is like a river. You have options like, you can stay on the corner, but the river will continue to flow. It will continue to, give opportunity to some smart minds. Because, for example, truth is right now, 40% of Indian students face visa rejection. A probability, even last year during Biden era, the probability of an Indian student getting a student visa was 60%. 40% of students face visa rejections. Now, maybe this might be year with maybe 45% rejection rate, 50%, or even more. Who knows? But the truth is, people who do take a chance, among those, 90% do make out for themselves, have a good career, great career, and the skills they learn are able to be implemented anywhere in the world. Look at students from Africa. They come to the US, they study, they work in a company and take those ideas back to Africa and build something great as well. All the startups in Africa even are built after studying in the US and implementing those ideas back in their countries. Same with India. There's a huge connection with biggest companies in India have connection with studying abroad, and especially sometimes studying in the US or working in the US. So same what I'm trying to say is studying in the US and committing is like flowing in the river, taking a chance. And earlier chances were 60% of student visa, which you can see. Now that chance working out, maybe the chances are low. Maybe you will be denied entry at the port of entry. Maybe you will be denied visa. Who knows? But people who do take a chance, they have great chances of making best out of their career. First of all, let's get into the data. In the last 4 years, the number of international students planning to come to the US is directly proportional to the job market. No matter what you say in your job interview, कि यार मैं तो बाद में India चले जाऊँगा, I'll go back to India. I don't have plans to work in the US. I just have plans to study in the US. No matter what you say in the visa interview, but there is a direct correlation between number of international students coming to the US and the job market, and that is what we see right now. From 2023 to 2024, there were 331,000 Indian students studying in the US, and that was 23% increase from previous year because job market was best in 2022, so more students in 2023. But later in 2024 there was a 40% drop in Indian students coming here, and that led to around 200,000 Indian students coming in the US. From 2020 to 2024, you see amazing job market trends from 2020 to 2022 and 2023. And after 2023, when people realized that recession has started, I made videos about people not finding job for months as well. There was 38% decline in international students wanting to study in the US, especially in STEM fields. So yeah, it is directly proportional. So yeah, job market plays a big role. US economy plays a big role. If investors are thinking, finicky about the US economy, finicky about the job market, things do change. And when it comes to paying for the university, many students struggle with maybe selling their land to pay for tuition fee, maybe finding a borrower, private lenders which do not give you loan. But remember, there is one of the best sources in the market right now, Empower, which invests in you so that you become the person who finds a job and pays the tuition fee so that they are able to get their money back. With Empower, they give you loan without collateral co-signer because they know that if you fill in the form with 60 seconds, they will know that you are a talented person getting into a good university who will pay the loan by getting a good job and will be a smart person and will be a great investment indeed. So why not you check out by filling the form? And even if you have 70% of your tuition fee figured out, why not you borrow $10,000, $20,000 from them? Because at the best interest rate and at an investment in you, you get to know where do you stand in life. If Empower trusts you, you will boost up your confidence that yeah, I am going to get my job. People trust me here. It will definitely boost your confidence. And check out right now with the description below and secure your student loan and your future. And do not forget that I am not hiding the fact that this year, the biggest challenge is not what's happening in White House. The biggest challenge is what is happening with AI. The unemployment rate even in the US is maybe 4%, but for CS grads, for computer engineers, computer scientists, it's actually 7 to 8%. It is worse than what it was 2-3 years ago. So the biggest challenge, what you think you should be thinking about is AI, how it's gonna reframe the job structure, how companies like Microsoft, their business model is how white collar jobs can be replaced with AI, how their investment in AI can be fruitful to replace computer scientists with AI. So when these companies are working on that motto to actually replace you, this is transformative. So that's why the biggest fear you should have is AI, how you can get those skills, transform yourself to find place in AI, robotics, these revolutionary technologies coming up, and find place for yourself, because that is a bigger challenge for most international students than thinking about what's going to happen if this happens. What if OPT gets removed? Of course, it is true that OPT can be removed, but there are heavy lobbying. Like if I tell you the exact truth, the possibility of OPT being removed, you need simple majority in House and simple majority in Senate, and both are dominated by Republicans. If they want, with 51% majority in House and 51% majority in Senate, OPT can be removed. But also the truth is OPT linked with international students brings $44 billion to US economy, and it is heavily lobbied. There is a 10-step process which Parth also made a video about, how OPT cannot be removed that easily. It's a 10-step process when bill becomes a law. And of course, even if it is worst case scenario, it is possible. But what's going to happen 2 or 4 years later when you graduate, it can come back as well. So when I came to the US, I came during, Trump administration as well. I took a chance as well and it worked out. So there's no guarantee that if this is happening, then your career is screwed. You are taking a chance against your career. If the probability was 60% before, maybe it is 50% now, still it is a chance against your career you're taking in the US, where you get to know how world get connected with people all over the world to build for the world instead of for one country. So just remember that. And I personally think still taking that chance could be worth it, whether you are first or second year doing an online master's or online undergrad. Just like in COVID, people who took the chance, it worked out. Worst case scenario is like you think about birthright citizenship. If it ends, it will end for some states. Just like abortion ended for some states, birthright citizenship might end for some states. It's a possibility. You have a possibility that OPT might be removed. Then you have a possibility of getting O1 visa. O1 visa is still there. You can make out for yourself by being extraordinary in your field. So for every problem, I think US has a solution. Let me give you another example. When I was visiting Stanford University, their hackathon Tree Hacks is one of the most selective hackathon. I didn't get accepted. Now, when I just took a flight to Stanford, I figured out when Tree Hacks was happening, you can actually walk in and see the hackathon and just walk in. They don't check. The hackathon happens in a park outside. It is being judged in an open place. So even though online application says that entry is denied, but I still was able to see the hackathons, judge them if I wanted. So what I'm trying to say, there is backdoor for every door, and those are legal doors. And backdoor doesn't mean illegal door. I'm talking about legal doors, and that requires you to talk to people, take help, but it does work out in the end. And do not forget to check out Empower, which invests in you so you make best out of your career with a loan, collateral free, and tension free, or you can say stress free. So thank you so much for watching. Wish you all the best. Thank you for watching.